In this video, I wanted to show you I have successfully bred another color variant of the Bristlenose Plecos. This time it is the Shortfin Green Dragon Bristlenose. You can see the male right there guarding some eggs in the top left-hand corner of the cave. That male has been ready to breed for a couple of months now. I just haven't had breeding size females available for him. So I have 3 presumable females in here. I'm not sure which one it was, but somebody went into this cave overnight and laid a batch of eggs, so I finally have a group of short-fin green dragons here that are ready to breed. So this is the first batch of fry I've gotten from them yet, the first time I've ever bred any green dragons. I'm going to shoot this video like I usually shoot my Pleco breeding videos over the course of a couple days to show you the progress of the eggs and the fry. So this is April 13th right here, and we're going to fast forward a couple days now. So the date is now April 18th. It's been 5 days and the eggs have hatched. We do have little wigglers in the back of the cave. It will still kind of look like they are eggs, but if you notice, the position of them is a little bit different here. They're more on the top of the cave now. They're not necessarily in the top left anymore. So the fact that they've moved kind of shows you that these are wigglers, but because their yolk sacs are still very large and orange, it does still look like they're eggs and like they haven't hatched, but they have hatched. They do have little tails. And yeah, it took 4, maybe 5 days. I didn't get to monitor them completely overnight, but it took 4 to 5 days for these eggs to hatch, which is pretty much what I see with all of my Bristlenose Pleco eggs. And one thing I wanted to quickly point out, you can see some light green stripes on this male's body. That's the best part in my opinion about these green dragon plecos, is sometimes their pattern is a solid green with light green stripes, kind of like a camouflage pattern, and other times they're just solid green, completely solid dark green, and it just changes all the time based on their mood, based on the lighting, based on the time of day. I don't know what it is, but both patterns look really awesome. So fast forward one more day, and what I'm now going to do is remove the cave, and I'm going to get the wigglers out of the cave, and the male is just instinctively going to stay inside that cave. He's going to wedge himself in there, but he's not able to block all the wigglers from coming out. So what you're going to notice is as I kind of move some water in and out of the cave, the wigglers are going to fall out into this little breeding box right here. Now, why am I doing this? Because now that they've hatched, I can successfully get them out of the cave. The male is done cleaning the eggs, and he's basically just guarding them for another week or 2 until they leave the cave on their own. But if I remove them right now, I can closely monitor them and start feeding them as soon as they completely absorb those egg sacs. And what this also does is allow the male to immediately go back to feeding, and he won't need to guard the cave anymore. Some people do this, some people don't do this. I have been doing this lately because I like to get the babies inside this breeder box so that they don't wander out on their own and then scatter all over the tank, and then it's a pain for me to catch them all. I like to get them in the breeder box, start feeding them as soon as those yolk sacs disappear, and then as they get some size to them, move them to a grow out tank. And the male can just keep on doing his thing, and as soon as I get these babies out, the male can have another set of eggs laid in there immediately if he wants. So I'm just going to estimate there's probably somewhere around 15 or 20 little babies here. Pretty good for the female's first time, but as they get older, they can lay a lot more eggs than this. I think I read somewhere online that a fully grown female Bristlenose Pleco can lay somewhere between 100 to 200 eggs, which is crazy. I don't know if I've ever had a 200 egg lay, but I think I've probably had 1 or 2 around the 100 mark for my really mature females. So fast forward to April 22nd, this is 4 days after those eggs have hatched, and they've pretty much absorbed the entire yolk sac, and you can see they're starting to get that brownish green color to them, which is awesome. And they are going to start feeding now. I dropped a little piece of cut green bean in there. You can kind of see it in the back of that piece of wood. They're not quite all over it yet, but I expect by the end of the night they'll probably start devouring that little piece of green bean, and then I'll just progressively start adding more and more, maybe 2 pieces and then maybe 3 pieces, and then once I get them eating and completely devouring this thing very quickly and get a bit of size on them, I'm going to move them to the grow out tank once I know that they're too big to go into the filter. Okay, so fast forward to April 26th, and this is probably the last day I'm going to shoot, but you can see they're on that green bean right now. They're not necessarily devouring it very quickly yet, but they're getting some size to them. You can't see any yolk sac anymore at all. And yeah, this is going to be the last day I film because this part's kind of slow. They kind of slowly grow out into the next phase now, and I could keep shooting over the next couple of months, but you get the idea, I think. So this was pretty exciting. I was very excited to breed a new color variation of Bristlenose Pleco. So far, I've successfully bred short fin blue eyes, long fin blue eyes, short fin super reds, shortfin green dragons, and then commons and albinos both in shortfin. So the only things left for bristlenose that I haven't really bred yet is the longfin reds, which I do have some growing up right now. They're just not breeding size yet. And then longfin albinos and longfin commons, which I don't even know if I'm going to bother with. And then longfin green dragons, which I just have not been able to get my hands on yet. And there is the very rare snow whites, but I've heard those are very, very fragile, so I don't know if I'm going to bother with those either. I'm also working on a couple other Pleco species right now, but I'll keep that a surprise, so stay tuned for some non-ancistrous Pleco videos. Hopefully I can get some breeding action going with those in the near future. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more aquarium and Pleco videos just like this one, hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching.